Hey everyone, a very good morning. Today we are at day 19. Our story began, and now we've reached the chapter 19 of this. My God, can you believe this? And within just 2 more days, we would have completed, we would have finished 3 weeks of the Inktober challenge. It's 3 weeks of consistency, guys. 3 weeks of consistency. Of course, I missed a week. Of course, I missed a week as I wasn't unwell, and all these happens. But yet we can be very proud of how much progress we made during this time period. And more importantly than anything, I want to congratulate each one of you who stayed with me throughout this journey. It's uh, it's been a wonderful experience to come up, to wake up, to show up every morning and do this here. Let's go. Let's wait for a few more people here. It's 7 a.m. Reviewing our journey so far. Everyone. Good morning, Pooja. The first to come in. Pat, Scallop, Phoenix, Bouquet, Trip, Match, Nest. Yes. And then there's Crab, Sea, Scrape. Good morning, Krishna. Good morning. Yes, so that's why I picked today. Today's reference picture is awesome. That's why I picked it. Because it's a very interesting thing where we talk about, where I can explain a little about horse, I can explain postures, and I cannot wait to start. Good morning, Vipin. Yes. So I think we are good to go. Let's start. It's past 7 a.m. and let's start right away. So see what we are drawing today. We are drawing a horse, and it's in a posture. So it's standing up like this is a posture that's going on here. If you look at if you look at the entire posture, you can divide it into certain parts. Like for example, there is going to be the base here. Good morning, Woodstock. Who's Woodstock? 2107. Okay, so if you look at this one, set the I can look at the entire posture of the horse and I can see it as standing like this. See, just showing you a very rough version of this. Okay. See this? And the hands are coming this way. See, notice how this forms the back. Notice how this forms the front, the chest region, and this is the shape. This is the shape of this is the shape of its spine, its rest of its upper body. And notice how the legs develop, how the legs evolve out of this shape here. So the first key step is to identify, is to understand the basic shape and how you can bring them out. Mostly whenever you're drawing animals, you can follow the strategy where you divide them into round and you draw their shapes. You draw the connecting shapes. Most animals can be drawn in this way where you show them as rounds, and then there are some few things that connects them. So let's try this out for today's drawing here. Let's try this out. This is the base, setting up the base. Now I know that you need to be conscious of the angle in which you're drawing. So this top can go here. You need to make sure that the top is in fact slightly bigger. then the base in itself. The top is slightly bigger than the base in itself, and there's going to be this connecting shape between them. There's going to be this connecting shape between them. Right now, it will look nothing like the horse, but this is how you start. Good morning, Karthik. A morning tribe. And here, so now the legs, I'm drawing the legs as a straight line that's coming here. Make sure you accommodate the bend, the folds, and all the other things that comes. This legs also, these legs also coming here, and a lot of it is concealed. So you can see that the legs might be coming like this, but then a lot of that is also concealed. Another interesting thing to note is the proportions of it. See, we haven't learned the animal proportions in depth, but we can assume a lot of things simply by looking at the reference picture. For example, the legs in this here is as tall as its upper body. So, like, you can come up with assumptions looking at the picture itself. I mean, of course, we cannot learn, and the proportions of all the each animal does have proportions. We cannot learn. It's not practical for us to learn all that in depth, like human beings. But we'll just move a lot with our assumptions. Find the rest of the legs here. Yeah. See, notice this line that I'm drawing first acts as a center line and acts as a guideline, and I'm okay to place it at the center of it. Then the next, so these legs, then these limbs can just come here. I'll just raise this here. I mean, take some time to just get these proportions and all this correct. Okay, otherwise, no wonder your horse will look a little awkward and you wouldn't know what went wrong. So let's just make some time to bend to correct this shape. The shape can come here, and this can go here, and then these can form the next leg. There. See this, these limbs are coming. So I mean, it takes some time. They have an extremely beautiful shape. You want to take your time to correcting them. Right. So let's draw this also here. This comes here. So now I've drawn the next other leg. And another interesting thing that you want to pay attention to is just check the length of both these legs. Make sure that they are matching. Like one is bent and one is more or less straight. Yet you want to see that they're matching. Like you don't want this to look very small as compared to this, because then it will start looking like a T-Rex and not like a horse. So you want to correct these. Yeah. Good morning, Sadhana. So now I've drawn the next one. So here we did all this for what? For pony, right? So let's just draw the tail here. So there's a tail here as a large shape, which we later cover, which we later detail it out. Then I want to draw the next one. So again, the next shape here. I'll draw this head here, the neck part, which will come as a line. And you can complete this shape here that's coming. So we've done something very similar for our first sketch, for our sketch of gargoyle. We've done something very similar where it is only the head portion where we drew the shape and then do the with the circle, with the aid of circle, and this we did the rest of it. And that's the same thing that we're going to do here. So right now we're just capturing the shape. We're just getting this, setting this. Okay. Now we're correcting this. I want to correct the length, the size of the head also. I don't want to make this look very small, then it will look like a donkey. So I want to corrected this, corrected the shape here, right? So this one that's coming here, it's a rather complicated shape, but I think we pulled it through. Then there's this spine that's coming, so I can correct that. This is back. This feet. So let me just adjust detail now that I have the basic shape. I can just refine this one, darkening where it's necessary, adding in the muscular details and all that. Take your time to correcting this. Then there is this feet that's coming, so I can add that as well. Then here's the head, the hair. It's on the head, so I can just draw this shape here, which I can later detail. And I also want to detail out the face, just drawing this basic structure here. This one, the nostrils, the eyes. Yeah, there you go. So that's it. So that's it. We have the structure and all this of the horse right here. And it's in fact one of the first times that I'm also drawing a horse. I haven't drawn a lot of horse either. I love the way this turned out, love its posture. And although I'm not very happy with some of these areas, maybe, like I just feel that the chest could be puffed up a little more. Yep, the chest can need to be puffed up a little more. And these legs, shape of this here can actually be corrected. Huh, much better. Superb. So you want to bring these, you want to look at these nuances here. Like maybe, like for example, I just increase the width here, increase the width here for this, and immediately, like it started to look a little more. Sometimes your horse you might have drawn it flat, and because of that, it looked like a sausage. And you want to correct this. You want to make this wider here. You want to get this shape done. You want to get the bend correct. You want to get the musculature correct. So it's all these different shape nuances that brings this together. And now that I have this ready, I'm ready to start inking this one. Good morning, Mahi. Let's take out our pens. Let's slowly but carefully ink. So the clarity, or when you ink, depends upon the clarity, like it depends upon how much time you spent on the pencil drawing and the clarity you developed in this time. That is what will help you in when you're inking. I mean, if you when you are doing the pencil work, if you are just half-assing it and you are, you just were lazy through it, with pen you won't be so confident. If you're doing a lot of, also it's pen sketching classes, we're doing a lot of pencil sketching here. So here there's this tail that's coming. So I can just simply quickly show this as this impression here with the fur texture, right? Can very quickly create this impression with fur texture. Okay. Drawing out the hair here. detail out these lines here. Carefully just lining this one, just one line at a time, just slowly drawing this for the here. Let's do the back. So these regions are pure muscles. Like I mean, the leg muscles of the horse is like nothing else. So you can really define and add tone, create some tonal values here. So adding the tail, just very carefully just bring these lines here, pull them over as you draw. Okay, so you can detail them as much as you want. Define this here. Just adding the tonal values and all the muscle group. So you made the most of the drawing at this stage. We made most of the drawing at this stage. This is what it looks like. Now the next part of this process is to detail and is to ink some of them. So we have the drawing, we have this, but I don't think like this is satisfactory enough. I mean, okay, right now we have a basic horse, but let's liven this up a little more. I'm going to start off with the hair. So I'm taking my point one pen and I'll start by Just darkening this edge here. So I can also darken this hair. Once I have drawn it, just use a nice bold pen and darken these edges. Mostly these edges. You don't want to darken the entire hair because then that effect won't come out. For you to get in the effects, you have to be selective. Okay, so now we've darkened this here. Similarly, on a similar tone, I can darken here. Just look inside and carefully just pull it out. Just darken this edge here. Just touch, press the pen and release. Like take a pen that is slightly one tone darker than what you had done previously. Yeah. Let's darken this. Then I can darken the edges of these legs here. We later move into the shading, but before that you want to just selectively darken these areas. So here also we are darkening, and similarly this edge here. You can darken here. Here. There. So now I have darkened. I have selectively darkened some of these areas. So at this stage, you know that you can stop your drawing. We have captured its posture. We have drawn out the details for the pony and all that. Since the prompt is also pony, leaving it at this stage will help you highlight this. So this is a good stage in which you can leave the drawing. We have also added contrast to some of these regions. Let's add a contrast to some of these regions, and so overall the drawing is complete. It feels complete as well. But I want to take this a step further. So those of you who want to do further can stay back. So I'm going to take just a 005 pen here, and I'll start by shading out some of these areas. For example, this region here. Okay. See now I'm shading it this way. See, just cross hatching, hatching, and this is like the just a next set that you're putting on this. So now once you're doing this, you need to understand that it's essentially taking up a very difficult task. You gotta know where to stop. Even for this, you gotta know where to stop. Otherwise, there's no limit that you can do, and then you'll only end up messing up the drawing. So I'll darken mostly around the regions to add in definitions around the muscles here. See, for example, here you also want to make sure that this you're not making this in unintentionally. You're not making this look like hair. So add in strokes only around the regions where you want to create this effect. See, for example, now these regions are defined. So are these regions. What about the legs? So you can just darken here. You can darken along this. Then the tummy region. See, it's just shading along here. Cross hatching because I want this to look very dark. Similarly for the upper body. To give this a slight tonal value. So I'll just be giving this hatching work. Okay. And there is this belly region because I want this to get darker, so I'm just using a little bit of pen work to just darken along here. Notice how this coherently forms this shape, and overall it's contributing to its fluidity. I can similarly add a little bit of definitions along the face. See, by now you should all be clear with the contour, how the contouring works, and how shading along this. Like the key thing is to be selective. Like you don't want to do it everywhere. So now here for the bottom of the face, I want to add in darker tone. See? Then there's this neck. So first, sketch the shape, following which cross hatching to get this dark tonal value. See, now overall, like you're adding in the hatching and definitions, and your sketch looks more dynamic. Don't be afraid of changing the shape. See, it's all about understanding the flow. Like once you understand how the flow of this works, it's only about drawing according to the flow. stuck in some of these regions here. So there are some white areas in this, and we can leave the white areas as it is. Like there are some white areas here. Paying attention only to the really darker ones and making sure you get that. And finally, we'll add in the last tonal values just along. We'll add in tonal values just along some of these regions, and there you go, you get this. So here also along the neck, like you just want to look at, see the areas, and that's how you add the final layers. So you're just seeing the areas where there are most shadows, and you just stuck in the sea. Be careful when you're doing this. Be selective. Like that's the most important tip here. If you're doing this everywhere, very high chances are you will end up regretting. So just adding in shadows, just emphasizing on the areas that you're already darkening will help bring out the best. See, so I was just darkening along here. Just I can just darken along here. Okay. Now these legs as well. It's addictive, huh? It's addictive. Once you get into it, it's addictive. I mean, you cannot get out of this. I wanted to finish the drawing earlier itself, but I cannot. I find myself unable to stop. Yeah. Done. That's it. Which pen have I taken now? So I'm switching between 005, 01. I'm switching between these different pens. See, I'm using 005 for the lighter tone and 01 for the darker tone. And that's because of this size also that I'm drawing. Like I'm drawing in a small, A6 size. So you can just add this grass here just along the base to just show that, this is just that, just touch and just flip the pen. And here you go. Love this. Right? Today's reference picture was awesome. And I think we've done a dashing job at this. We've done a phenomenal job at this. Let's sign off. Sign off. And day 19 Pony. Right? It's day 19. Yes, day 19. Ponytail. Most importantly, once your drawing is complete, erase off the pencil marks. Gently erase off the pencil marks. Don't forget this step. It's when the real beauty of your drawing comes. You want to add something in the background? Sure, that's up to you. If you wish to add something to the background, that's up to you. Well, I'm stopping it at this because I want the entire attention to be at this. I'm just, in order to simply create a context, I'm adding a little bit of grass here. That's it. Otherwise, I can, what do you say, I don't want to do anything further to this. Just want to complete the tail here because you need to remember that this is concealing these. Tail is concealing the leg. So you need not stop at this. You can add grass, you can add trees, you can add the fence. Like there are so many things that are going on there. You can keep on filling this up. And I mean, there's no limit to this, right? So that's exactly how you draw a horse. And yes, thank you all so much for joining me for today's morning live. It's an absolute honor. And I'm enjoying this. So we'll see you again tomorrow for day 20. Bluff. Oh, what are we going to do for bluff? I don't know. It's very confusing. Day 20 bluff. Let's see. Take care and have a wonderful day.